Most people don't realize what they're missing until something goes wrong. The power goes out, stores close, systems stop working. And suddenly it's not the big things that matter, it's the little things that you didn't think about. The kind of things that seem obvious in hindsight, but could cause real problems in the moment. In this video, I'm gonna be going over 10 preps that people forget about until it's too late. Let's get started. If you're new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Cliff, also known as the Urban Prepper, and on this channel, we focus on the topic of urban emergency preparedness. The first item is gasoline storage. A lot of people assume gas stations will always be available, but during power outages or emergencies, that's not always the case. If the power goes out, gas stations do not work because those pumps rely on electricity. And even if they do work, lines form quickly. Having a small, safely stored supply of gasoline means you could fill up your vehicle in a bug-out situation or keep a gas power generator running for multiple days. A good baseline is having enough fuel to fill at least one of your vehicles, stored safely in a well-ventilated area with proper rotation and stabilizer. I prefer using the NATO gas cans myself. Now, fuel helps you keep mobile in case of an emergency, but the next item that we'll be going over is critical if an emergency happens in your home. And that next item is fire extinguishers. This is one prep that can make all the difference in a matter of seconds in your home. Most people either don't have one or they have one that's been sitting there for years and may not even work. You're gonna want multiple extinguishers placed in high-risk areas like the kitchen, garage, near outdoor grills, and ideally at least one on every floor of your home. I prefer fire extinguishers with metal handles because they're oftentimes refillable and they're a little bit more durable. And when you get one, don't forget to remove that plastic zip tie that's wrapped around the pin. You're not gonna wanna be worrying about having to cut that off in case of an emergency. And also make sure that you're checking your fire extinguisher semi-regularly so they're charged and ready to go if you actually have to use it. Now that we've gone through some immediate safety issues, the next items are in relation to medical. So for number 3, I have over-the-counter medication. Most people don't even think about it until they're actually sick. If stores are closed, you're not gonna be able to run out and grab what you need. Most people have basic pain relief like Tylenol or aspirin. But items that go the fastest are things like cold and flu medication. So things like Dayquil, NyQuil, Vicks, along with allergy medication. What I recommend trying to do is build up your own personal mini pharmacy at home so you're not relying on stores being open. You may also want to keep some general wellness supplies in there in addition to immune support in case of a grid down situation. That covers over-the-counter medication, but the next item is even more critical, and that's a long-term supply of prescription medication. If you rely on prescription medication, this is one prep you cannot afford to overlook. During a disruption, pharmacies could close, supply chains could be delayed, and access can become limited very quickly. Even having an extra 30 to 90-day supply can make all the difference. I personally rely on heart medication due to the chemotherapy I had when I was 20 years old, which took its toll on my heart. So this is a topic that I take very seriously. I use Jase Medical and their Jase Daily program to build a year reserve of my prescription medications. And I rotate that using a first in, first out system along with my regular prescriptions. I highly recommend checking out Jase Daily if you rely on prescription medications like I do, and I've provided a link in this video. Highly recommended. But even if you have your medication taken care of, there's another item that people rely on, but it might disappear quickly. If your phone stops working, how much information do you actually lose? Most of us are totally reliant on our phones. I still remember phone numbers and addresses from when I was just a kid, but today I couldn't even tell you many of my friends and family members' phone numbers by heart. If your phone is dead, lost, or there is no signal, you lose access to your contacts, medical information, insurance details, and important account information. That's why I recommend having a binder with printouts of all of this important information. If your phone is dead, lost, or there's no signal, having a printed sheet with key information gives you a reliable backup when digital systems fail. Now, if you really want to, you can make your own emergency binder from scratch. But if you want to save time and have it highly organized, Morgan over at Rogue Preparedness recently came out with a Rogue Preparedness emergency binder that does all of the legwork and organization for you. It's already broken down into sections like emergency contacts, family plans, and utility shutoffs, things people often overlook. It also includes checklists for power outages, water outages, and evacuation, along with home and food inventory tracking. I'll provide a link to the Rogue Preparedness emergency binder with this video. Again, highly recommended. And if the digital systems fail, there's another item that immediately becomes very important. In a grid down situation, cash is king. If power is out, card systems don't work, and ATMs go offline. Even if stores are open, you might not be able to pay digitally. A lot of preppers rely on gold or silver, but in most emergencies, cash is what people understand and accept. A good starting point is trying to have $1,000 of cash on hand, preferably in smaller bills. and make sure that that cash is stored securely in a hidden location and perhaps in a fireproof bag. The next item is commonly overlooked, but during an emergency situation, if you don't have it, it becomes a real problem, and that is feminine hygiene products. I'll be honest, this is something I personally don't have to think about on a day-to-day basis, but it's something that my wife definitely does. Feminine hygiene products are essential and they're not easily substituted. During emergencies, these are often some of the first items to disappear. If you have women in your household, you should have a dedicated supply on hand of items that they actually use. And it's not a bad idea to have a little bit extra in variety just in case you want to help others. So far, we've talked about preparedness measures for ourselves, but you don't want to forget about your pets. For most households, like my own, pets are part of the family. But most people don't have more than a short supply of things like dog food, cat litter, or pet medications. And while some of these things don't have a long shelf life, it's still something to build up over time. Even having a little extra on hand can make a big difference. If supply chains are disrupted, pet supplies can be hard to find, just like anything else. Now, this next one is something that many people, especially in the United States, might disagree with, but I feel that it's very important, and that is a bidet. During COVID, a lot of people ran out of toilet paper. We had a large supply, but we were able to stretch it out even further by integrating a bidet as part of our system. You can install one on your toilet or use simple travel versions, which are the ones that I prefer. They reduce your reliance on toilet paper, improve hygiene, and make a big difference during longer disruptions. Bidets are pretty common across the world, but not here in the United States for some reason. Hopefully us preppers could help change that mindset. And finally, the last one is something that people don't think about until it becomes a problem. If garbage pickup is disrupted during an emergency, trash builds up quickly, and with trash comes rodents. In urban areas especially, rats and other rodents can become a problem fast. Most people don't even think about this until they have an actual problem, and then they run out to the store to get some rat traps really quickly. During an emergency situation, those stores may be closed. I prefer traditional rat traps over the glue traps, and I recommend having several on hand just in case you have a rodent problem. That's going to do it for this video featuring 10 preps that people forget about until it's too late. I hope they enjoyed watching it. Please leave your comments below in the comments section regarding this video. I'm curious, what other preps would you recommend that people don't often have on hand until it's too late? Leave your comments below in the comments section with your recommendation for those kind of items. If you like these type of emergency preparedness videos, consider signing up for my email newsletter that I send out periodically, and you can even help support this channel by becoming an official member to get behind the scenes information, free gear, and more. So link down below for that. Again, thanks for watching this video and stay tuned for more urban emergency preparedness videos. See you next time.